UFC 294. We're going to get right into it because the main event wasted no time, and neither are we. Shara Bullet Magomedov, very first fight of the night. He looked great. Very creative, very strong, very quick. Only thing that was very sus was, his takedown defense. And everyone was saying he's from Dagestan with no takedown defense, no grappling, whatever. Not everyone from Dagestan is going to fall in love with their grappling or prefer grappling in their fighting. Someone from there is definitely going to fall in love with their striking, their kickboxing, just because everyone else, Habib, Islam, Umar, Usman, all those people from over there, there's so many more. There's so many that I can't even name you them. But if you think of all these people, you think of them as grapplers or good strikers with good grappling, and just anything that involves grappling, people associate with Dagestan fighters. And Shara is different. He's not going to just be like everyone else. Clearly, he likes his striking, which is fine. The thing is, he just has to fix his setting up kicks. Obviously, it's a problem. He was getting, somebody else, he was getting taken down because of that. I think him and his team will fix that, but just because it's fixed in training doesn't mean that it won't come out in the next fight. But I think that Shara will be all right. His team is going to fix the issues that he had. Tim Elliott versus Muhammad Chimaev. Great fight. Tim Elliott is not no can. He's not no bum. I get that. He's had a bumpy career, but honestly, that's a dog. That's a perfect fight for Chimaev. Chimaev's still young. He went in there, got the job done. There was a little bit of controversy, I think. Honestly, the grounded knees, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of grounded knees, by the way. Like, when someone's on the ground and people are just throwing down knees, I get it. It's a fight, but it's still a sport at the end of the day. You're not just going to get someone to go in there and die because that's the rules, I honestly like the way that the UFC has it. If you're a grounded opponent, then you shouldn't be hit with a knee. But here's the thing. When someone's was in Chimaev's position, he had both hands on the mat, on the ground. He wasn't on any of his knees, so he was basically just on his hands, to his two hands, because Elliott had him in that position, and then he started throwing knees to Chimaev's head. Chimaev started protesting multiple times. Those knees, I don't think they were really grounded knees, only because you have to really be grounded. I can't just be, let's say, in a headlock, and then he's throwing knees, and then I put my hands down and say, oh, I'm grounded. Why is he throwing illegal knees? I don't agree with that, honestly, only because you're slowing down the pace. I understand that you don't want to get hit with a knee to the head when you're basically vulnerable. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't just be able to put your hands on the ground, get kneed, and then complain and say, oh, why did I get kneed? I'm down. I'm sorry, but when Chimaev kept doing that, I just didn't agree with it. I think those were perfectly legal knees, in my opinion. I know that every state or country, commission, whatever it is that they go to, it changes a lot. I get it. State to state, country to country, commission to commission changes. I know in my state, if the commission would have seen that, they probably would have had a heart attack and disqualified everybody just cause. I hate the commission in my state. I've seen a lot of nonsense, but that's not the point. The point is, I don't think that should count in any commission, any state, any country. I don't care. That's not a grounded opponent just because you put your hands on your knee or hands on the ground and say, oh, I'm down. Johnny Walker, that was a legit knee when he was down. That's different. He was actually on his knees. He was on the cage. He was down, and he got kneed straight in the head. But if you watch those fights again, you'll see the difference and you understand what I'm talking about. The Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker fight was a crazy fight that ended very quickly, but it's just the controversy behind it. The grounded knee, it's terrible. I hate to see stuff like that. You're training hard for months. It ends so quickly in such a stupid way. Ankalaev, I don't want to say that. Who knows? Who knows what he was thinking? Who knows what was in his head? I don't want to say it was intentional. I don't want to say anything because you never know. In a fighter's head, a lot of things are going on. Maybe they don't realize a lot of things happen. I know that's the fighter's fault, yes. But I'm not going to say it was intentional. I don't think that anyone's going to go in there and throw an intentional knee unless you really, really, really hate this guy. Like if it was Josh Koscheck, I get it. Why? I get why. But I mean, I don't think that Ankalaev would want to end the fight like that. Ankalaev is there in the division. Even though he drew for the belt and stuff, he's basically a win or whatever away from fighting again. I just don't think he did that on purpose. It was definitely a stupid mistake, in my opinion. Maybe he didn't realize or whatever it was, but just stupid decision to make. Honestly, I wanted Johnny Walker to win. He's been on a crazy come up, even though he has some goofy knockouts, and I always make fun of him just because of how stupid he is. I like the guy though. I love the guy. He's just a character. He's a clown. He likes to joke around a lot, and that's cool. That's what I like about him. But it's just the goofy knockouts and his chin. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that fight, and it would have been a great fight regardless. Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev.
I kill everybody. I give you everybody. Everybody, I'm the champ.
Great fight. The controversy, I get it. People believe Usman won. People believe Khamzat won. People believe it was a draw. I mean, honestly, people were saying that off of watching the fight once. If people watch this fight multiple times, I think that everyone's opinion would change, or maybe they would see things that they didn't see the first time. I mean, the first round, I think it was a 10-8, 100%. Usman was down. I think the fight there was like about 40, 50 seconds left. Usman was down 30 something strikes, possibly even more. He was getting controlled the whole round. There was nothing for Usman to do. He was getting threatened with a lot of chokes. And it was scary. I'm not going to lie. It was very scary. Second round starts. Usman came in a lot better. I think Usman won that round. It was a slow pace. It was a slow pace round from both of them. Usman was probably trying to look out for the takedowns, and Khamzat was probably a little bit gassed from all that grappling and staying on top of Usman and fighting for better positions and all that kind of stuff. And it does get pretty tiring. Usman, in my opinion, I think he won round 2. He landed the more damaging strikes. He landed more damage. Khamzat, even though, he took Usman down, he didn't really do anything. I think when he took Usman down in the last minute, last 40 seconds, last 40 seconds, I think he only threw like 3 strikes to Usman, and Usman threw like 1. They weren't really, it wasn't damage, and he didn't really hold Usman for long, and Usman was literally just grabbing onto him. Usman just won round 2. He landed the better strikes. He was throwing a lot of feints out there, and Khamzat was biting down on them. Oh man, he just kept biting down on them even until the end of the fight. I think Usman still won round 3. He landed the better strikes. Yes, he got taken down, but he got back up. Khamzat didn't really do anything crazy. He didn't damage Usman like crazy. It was just he took him down. I get a couple strikes get thrown here and there by both of them, but Usman gets back up. Khamzat starts struggling with takedowns after the first, and from the second to the third, he wasn't really doing anything crazy with his grappling. In the first round, I get it. Khamzat was threatening chokes. He was hitting Usman with a lot of damaging strikes from when he was on bottom. But in the second and third, that didn't really happen, and definitely not in the third. In the third round, Usman was landing better strikes, even when they were standing and it was and they were both exchanging. He was still landing the heavier shots. I think it was a draw. The fight had to be a draw. The 10-8 in the beginning from Khamzat, and then Usman won the next 2 rounds, in my opinion. But the judges didn't see it that way. Many people did. Some people even saw Usman winning, which I don't see. I'm sorry, but I do not see him winning this fight in any way. I've watched this fight. I've watched it multiple times. I've replayed each round multiple times. Usman definitely tied the fight just by winning the second and third round. This could go either way, honestly. Khamzat could have won. It could have been a draw, but I think it was more of a draw than it was Khamzat winning. Just tell me how you feel in the comments. Islam Makhachev versus Volkanovski the Great. Unfortunately, Volkanovski lost by a head kick KO. I wanted Volkanovski to win. People were just giving too many excuses, 11 days notice, that he this and that. Here's the thing, guys. Khamzat and Islam on a full camp for their opponents, I think Islam knocked them out. Islam would have won regardless. if he had a full camp for Volkanovski. I think so. It's just he's too big for Volkanovski. The first fight, I get it. They just didn't expect Volk to be that good, even though he is that good. I think they underestimated him. Volkanovski is just too small for 55. There's a lot of heavy hitters. There's a lot of big dudes. They're just heavier than him. They're naturally just bigger than him. Even though, yes, he fought in welterweight, this, and he fought in this weight class. That doesn't mean anything. He got knocked out in welterweight. And just the heavier weight classes are just too hard for him in the UFC, man. Everyone in 55 is just very, very well-rounded. Sad that he didn't win, but I think with a full camp, Islam does the same thing to Volkanovski. Unfortunately, though, that's just how the game goes, you know? That's what happens when you dare to be great. But, you know, the head kick was always there. Volkanovski's just short. Islam's bigger, taller. So that head kick is always there. And then people were like, oh, he came off the couch, this and this. Islam just has a great team around him. They saw the openings. They were throwing low, low, low. And I mean, unfortunately, that's how the fight ended up. But tell me how you guys feel in the comments. If you guys disagree with me, agree with me, let me know. We'll see you in the next video.